Hello, I'm Jane from Loopy's Place and I'm coming to you from my studio here in Sheffield. I did promise you an update on the liquid vinyl that I was using. I was going to show you how I've been using it. It's to make ordinary fabric into either waterproof or water resistant, and that very much depends on how many layers that you put on. I was going to cut the pieces out and treat the pieces separately, but I find that putting this on actually has made it easier to cut out. So I'm going to do the pieces and then cut it out for the bag that I wanted to make. So because I'm doing a bigger area and because I know that I'm happy with it, I've gone and bought a paintbrush so that I can cover a bigger area at one time. So I'm going to share the process with you now. So normally I'm dealing with fabrics as it is. So this is my cutting mat. I've just put my fabric onto some baking parchment so that the substance doesn't go through. I'm just going to those pieces that are fraying off, I'm just moving to one side so we don't get those stuck inside. Just take the lid off, and there is the liquid vinyl. So as you can see, it's quite opaque, it's quite thick, so I'm just putting a piece on the end, some on the end, and then I'm just dabbing it on to the fabric. You can see where it's been because you end up with the light reflecting off it. I find it's easier to do it in sections. So this fabric is striped, so I'm doing a striped section at a time. So I can keep up with where I'm going. I don't want to put it on too thickly, but on the other hand, I don't want it to be too thin. So I'm going to cover this. I've got my ironing mat on the desk behind me because you need to iron on a hard surface, so the desk behind will suit. But you need to allow 10 minutes drying time. Now the first one that I did, I was in and out of the studio a lot. I didn't have a lot of time in here, so basically I was doing a layer, leaving it until the next time I came in and then ironing it. So it'd be interesting to see, doing it so quickly, how it will go. Right, so I'm just going to get all this covered and then we can do the next bit. Okay then, so coming to the end of this stage. One of the things you will notice, it becomes more evident on the subsequent layers. As you're doing this, you see the holes between the fibres of the fabric filling in. I'm just going to leave the brush there because I'll come back in 10 minutes and give another coat. It does recommend using non-close weave, but particularly wanted to use this fabric, so I'm giving it a go. As I say, from the first one that I did, I'm quite pleased with the result, so we'll see how it goes. So let that dry and I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay then, so that's been there for about 40 minutes. Read the instructions, it's not 10 minutes, it's 30 to 40 minutes. It is still slightly tacky, so this is the least time I've done it in, so we're going to see how it goes. So as you see, I've got my baking parchment down on my cloth, got onto hard surface, so this is not very thick but it's heat resistant. So I'm just going to place that on the top and then follow the instructions, which says to preheat the iron to medium heat, no steam. And then I'm going to press it for 45 seconds, moving the iron gradually across. So There you are, that's the first coat done, so I'm going to give that another coat. So take it back over to the other mat. There we go, so got my brush. So I do believe that I just gave the other one 2 coats, so we'll just give this another coat now. Now the good thing about this is that I can just, once I've finished doing this, if it's the last one that I'm doing today, I can then just wash the brush out with water. So just to reiterate, I'm going to put this on and then leave it for about 45 minutes before I come back to do it again. I don't know where I got the 10 minutes from. So, good lesson learned. Even if you think you're familiar with it, just stop and recheck the instructions. So you'll notice it's going on a lot quicker this time, basically because those pores that we had in it originally, they are getting filled in. So it's spreading on a lot quicker. Just making sure I get there we are. So I'm just checking in the light, you can just see where you've been, just make sure I haven't missed any places. And we'll leave that there to dry 45 minutes and then we'll come back. So that's dried now for another 45 minutes and I'm just going to get this set now. So this is hot off the press. It's had its other iron, so you can see just here in between the threads where some of the liquid vinyl has dried, you can see there it's quite strong. So this is now ready to cut up. So this was the previous one that I'd done, then I cut it into the pieces I need. So this is ready now for sewing. I'll have one more piece that I need to do to get the handles that I need, but that's it. It's very simple to use, it's fairly quick, even though you have to allow the time for it to dry in between. If you're doing it with other things, can make the best use of your time, not standing around waiting for it. So I'm going to sew this up and then I will come back to you and let you know what it's like to sew and hopefully show you the finished bag. So if you want to have a go yourself, this is the one that I've used. It's the Heat and Bond liquid vinyl, and as you can see, if I open it up, I haven't used too much of it at all, so it will go for quite a few projects. So I hope you found that useful. I'll put all the details in the comments below so that you know what I've used and where to get it from. If you make anything using it, look forward to seeing those projects. I will be back, as I said, to share the finished item with you, to let you know what it feels like to sew. That's it for now. Do make sure that you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell below, get notifications when new videos are uploaded, and I'll be back to speak to you soon. So take care for now.